कूजन्तं राम रामेति मधुरं मधुराक्षरम् आरुह्य कविताशाखां वन्दे वाल्मीकि कोकिलम्। रामाय रामभद्राय रामचन्द्राय वेधसे रघुनाथाय नाथाय सीताया पतये नमः। जयत्याश्रितसन्त्रास ध्वान्तविध्वंसनोदयः प्रभावान् सीतया देव्या परमव्योमभास्करः परमव्योमभास्करः।
श्रीमते निगमान्त महादेशिकाय नमः। Bharata, along with Shatrughna, was in Kekaya Desha. He was under the guardianship of his maternal grandfather and his uncle. So they were taking very good care of Bharata and Shatrughna. It was then when Bharata dreamt of his father and certain bad omens associated with his father. He expresses his anguish to his brother Shatrughna, who tries convincing him to discard any worry or shock associated with the dream. But Bharata still feels it as a very tricky and a very uneasy situation. That is when the messengers who have been dispatched by Vasishtha and the Council of Ministers arrives in Kekaya Desha. As mentioned earlier, Vasishtha had clearly instructed the ministers to not reveal the death of Dasharatha. But they were also told that they should not speak anything false. The untruth should not be spoken. Satyam bruyat, priyam bruyat, na bruyat, satyam apriyam. True to this Subhashitam, they were in a very tricky situation. They had to tell that Dasharatha wants, or the kingdom wants Bharata. They were not to reveal that Dasharatha is dead. They were to not speak the untruth. If Bharata asks, how is Dasharatha? And these people, the messengers say, no, he is very good. That means they have spoken the untruth. And in case he asks, how is Dasharatha? And these people answer that he is dead. Then they are going against the instructions of Vasishtha. Very tricky situation. We call it catch-22 situation, right? Then how will they manage? That is when the Tamil poet Kamban puts a very intelligent question through the words of Bharata. Bharata in turn asks, Mudivudaya Mannan Nalama, is the monarch, is the king who is adorning the crown currently well? So the messengers thought for a while. Who was the king? Dasharatha. For how many years? Many years. What happened to him? He is dead. Whom did the crown go to? It should have gone to Rama. Did it go to Rama? No. Where is Rama? In the forest. Did it go to Lakshmana? No. Lakshmana has gone accompanying Rama to take care of him in the forest. Then who is the one who should adorn the crown now? Bharata. Where is Bharata? In front of me. What is the question? Is the monarch who is adorning the crown now? Well, the messengers thought the monarch who is to adorn the crown is Bharata. He is standing in front of me. He is well. So to that question of Bharata, these messengers answered, yes, he is well. So while they pointed these hands, Bharata did not realize they were pointed towards him. He just heard. So he is well. So he thought Dasharatha is well. But the answer was not so. So the messengers were able to circumvent the situation. So that is one. In Valmiki Ramayanam, the messenger says, they are fine. The husband and the wife are fine because Bharata and Urmila are fine. So he says, Kushalaste naravyaghra yesham kushalamichasi srischatvam virunute padma yunjadabjadide rathaha. Then after having told this, Bharata felt a bit fine, but he was still very uneasy about the dream, its repercussions, the messengers coming. So he sought the permission of his grandfather and uncle and said that it is high time that I leave because I have been wanting in Ayodhya and I too feel that there is an urge for me to go to Ayodhya. Like Gachata Matulakulam Bharatena Tata Anagaha Shatrugnaha Nitya Shatrugnaha Neetaf Preeti Puraskrita, like this kavod that is used along with the sword, so did Shatrughna also follow Bharata. Now, as Bharata leaves Kekeya and has to reach Ayodhya, imagine a rough route from the top part of Afghanistan, crossing Pakistan, crossing the current day Kashmir. Then they have to come all the way down, crossing Punjab, Himachal Pradesh, Haryana, Uttarakhand, and then they have to come to Uttar Pradesh. So this is the land route. So it took a week's time, roughly a week's time. And along with Bharata, the uncle wanted to gift him whatever his nephew wants. So he sent with him 1,600 horses. Why? Because in the ancient India that we know of, horses were reared, nourished and trained largely in parts of the current day Pakistan and Afghanistan and beyond. So this region, lower part of Pakistan where we have the city, famous city called Karachi, is called the Sindh province or region. Horses which were trained in the Sindh region were called Saindhava. So Saindhava horses were very popular. Similarly, horses trained in the northern frontiers of Afghanistan and Pakistan were also popular. Hence, some research scholars suggest Ashwapati Maharaja, the father of Kaikeyi, is mentioned even in the Brahma Sutras and in the Upanishads. Vaishvanaradhikaranam, Vaishvanara, when the name of fire god is invoked, and the Brahma Vidya which is associated with it, it is Ashwapati Maharaja who dispenses that knowledge. So the word Ashwapati, some scholars opine that region was filled with horses and he was very good with horses. Even when we read about Nala in Nala Charitram, Naishadham, Asitu Nishadeshu, Nalaha Namaraja, Sahasarangeshu, Ashveshu, Kushalaha, Gunaihi Sampurnaha cha Babuva is how we used, I remember the those lines. Very good at horses. So this Ashwa, some scholars opine, Shwa became Fa in the Baluchi, in the Persian, Farsi languages, and that Ashwa became Afgha. And that is why that region is called Afghanistan, is what some scholars opine. So 1,600 horses were sent along with Bharata by his maternal uncle. Alongside many mountainous dogs with canine teeth were also sent. Many shawls, many gold and silver ornaments were also sent along with Bharata. Bharata has a long journey to Ayodhya. This has been described by Valmiki. I am not getting into the details. You may read the original to understand the journey. They cross a river called Sudhama, Vipasa, they cross Ikshuvati, they cross various cities. All these are between the Sindhu and the Saraswati basins. Then from Saraswati to Yamuna basin, Yamuna to Ganga basin. So he crosses various river basins to reach Ayodhya. Now, as he enters Ayodhya, Valmiki gives a vivid description of how the flora reacted. The creepers, the climbers, the shrubs, the trees, the plants, they reacted. Udyanani pura bhanti mattah pramuditani cha jananamrati sanyoge shvatyanta gunabanti cha तान्येतान्यश्च पश्यामि निरानन्दानि सर्वशः शस्त्रपर्तपर्णैपनुपथं विक्रोशद्भिरवद्रुमैः. It seemed to Bharata that the plants were not happy. You may be wondering, sir, plants being happy, this is where we go utterly wrong. As much as this world relies on science and logic, the world also runs on emotions. Emotion is very, very important to understand any civilization, any society, any community. In emotion, you move with such great expression with the people and the flora and the fauna around you. I'm sure many of you will be having pet animals at home. It could be a dog. Now cat has become a rage. So many of you may be having domesticated cats and dogs. Some of you may have go, which is pashu, cows and calves. People who are genuinely moved with pet animals will come to a conclusion. These animals are more reliable, loyal than family members and friends themselves. They have better attachment. Some of you can even relate. When the master, with the friend of the house, goes on a tour for 10 days, there are dogs that don't even eat. So, animals have better expression. There is no doubt. And they have gratitude, which humans lack. Sadly, that is the state of the human society. And when the master is back home, you should see the excitement that these pets exhibit. It is beyond expression. Though I don't have pets, or Shastram prohibits us from having cats and dogs, not to dislike those animals. It says not required. But I extremely respect the sentiments of people who have pets because they show that love towards those animals. One. Second thing, there are people who talk to plants. I don't know if you have noticed. They will talk to plants, and people who are botanists, who are very good in agriculture, they will tell you plants do sense emotion. Your touch to the leaves of plants makes them feel good. That feel good factor is there with the plants as well. We keep discarding plants don't have knowledge, animals don't have emotions. In fact, they have knowledge, they have emotion. It is we humans which lack both. We don't have emotions, we don't have knowledge. So plants also can sense the presence or absence of love. I remember very vividly my grandmother saying that with the passing away of the master of the house, there are many creepers that die along. So when Bharata entered Ayodhya, the first reaction that he saw was a certain discomfort in the creepers and in the plants. Udyanani pura bhanti matta pramuditani cha janadamrati sayyogeshvatyanta gunabanti cha taparnainupatham vikroshadbhiravatrumaih. Somehow the plants were not happy. Is it true? Has it happened only after Bharata had come to Ayodhya, or had it happened before? No. Sumantra mentions about leaves drying up to Dasharatha. When did he mention? You did not tell us, sir. I was waiting for the right opportunity to tell what Sumantra had mentioned of the plants to Dasharatha. Next episode.
Dear Astika reader, I am happy to be authoring a 2-part book on the Ramayana in English. The first part is slated for release in the year 2024. The book aims to recreate and retell the Ramayana of Valmiki, conforming to the ancient commentaries and other allied literature. To receive notifications of the book release, kindly register with www.deshikadaya.org/books. Namaskaram.